Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 14. So Module 14 is, we're almost to the end of the cause and effect essay. This essay is going through the full revision process. And so in the previous module, you completed a rough draft and submit it to me. Now you're going to take that same rough draft file and submit it to your peers and to the online writing lab. So this is a really important module to pay attention to due dates, because the due date or the deadline to submit to these assignments is actually in the middle of the week instead of at the end. And the reason is because we need to have time for that feedback to be submitted to you. So keep in mind that that's something that you'll need to do. I do have one more video quiz for you to watch, and this is just a little video about peer editing. And since this is our first actual peer edit for the class, which is something that you'll be doing in a lot of your writing classes, this is just some ideas for how to write effective peer comments and to give you more ideas. And just like you did for the second person video quiz, you get started, you answer the questions as the video goes through, and at the end make sure that you submit the whole thing so that it actually grades it. And then you're going to be doing 2 assignments after this. So the first thing you're going to do, actually it doesn't matter what order you go in, but you're going to submit to the online writing lab and to the peer edit assignment. So the online writing lab is housed over here in this link to BrainFuse online tutoring. Now what I'm going to do is set up a task that is emailed to you through your Allen email that you can use, that's a little bit easier than going through BrainFuse, but you can do either one. The task in your email is set up with all the information filled out for your essay already. All you have to do is browse and upload a file and send it in. If you're going to use the BrainFuse link, then you want to go here. It'll look like this, and you'll go to submit paper, and then you'll choose what kind of paper it is, which in this case is cause and effect. And then you'll have to go through writing in your class and my name and all the assignment instructions and all of that, and then selecting areas that you need help with. And then down at the bottom, you'll attach your document. The task that I set up already has a lot of this stuff filled out for you, so you don't have to. And the other advantage of the task is that then I can see your submission as well. And so if students have any issues with like viewing what the Writing Center sends back to them, then I can help out with that. So once you send that in, 48 business hours later, you should have a response. The response will either come here, you'll see a little notification, or it will be over here in your message center. Either way, I don't think you get an email, so you actually have to physically go in and check BrainFuse to see if they responded to you. Wednesday is the deadline to get a response, but I would do it as soon as possible. Like as soon as this module opens, you can send that in. The other thing that you're going to do with that rough draft file, so same exact rough draft file, you send it to the online writing lab and you also submit it here. Here's the thing. To do the peer edit, you have to submit an essay. Okay, so it's like a potluck. You know, if you don't bring food, you don't get to eat. You have to submit an essay file or you will not be able to do the peer edit. The reason is because Canvas just trades whatever files have been submitted. So it does it automatically. And the reason I use Canvas to do this is because then I don't have to worry about like pairing students up and then having one student not submit a file, and so then the other student doesn't get anything to look at. It just takes a lot of that off of me and puts it in the program. So you have to submit a file in order to do the peer edit. Otherwise, you get a 0 for this assignment, and this is a 50-point assignment, so it's really important to pay attention to this. So once you've submitted your file, on Wednesday, April 30th at 11:59 p.m., you will see names pop up right here where it says assigned peer reviews. You'll have 2 names. So this is the day and time Canvas will automatically trade your essays, and then people's names will show up here. You'll click on their name and a page that looks like this will pop up. Now I can't show you what somebody else's will look like, because obviously the peer edit hasn't started yet. So you'll see their file, and then you'll also see view feedback. Now, you've done this before in order to give yourself self-editing comments. Now you're going to do it on someone else's essay. So once you click on view feedback and you expand it, you can use all of those tools to leave some feedback. It's really important that you leave feedback in these comment bubbles. If you just write something, like the text allows you to add text, which is fine, but it doesn't tell me, it doesn't show up over here, and it doesn't tell me who wrote that. So there will be more than one student responding to each essay and providing feedback on. So I need to know which comments you wrote and which comments they wrote. So just keep in mind that the longer you wait to do this, the more likely it is somebody else is going to find all the easy stuff to comment on, and you're going to be left to really trying to find those comments. You need to have at least 10 of those little annotated bubbles on there to get full credit for it. The other part of doing the peer edit is to fill out this rubric. Now, I can't show you what it will look like for you, but it's something like this, except you'll have a little comment spot. So the point of the rubric is to look at each criteria for the assignment and decide whether this student has issues or so they need improvement, or there are no issues. And if there are no issues, then it matches this description here. If it needs improvement, you'll have a little button over here that's like a comment box. You can click on that and leave some feedback. Now, the comments that you leave in the draft, those save automatically, but the rubric does not. So you'll have to go down to the bottom and click submit. The problem is, once you submit that rubric, it is done. It cannot be edited. I don't know why. It's something that it's just annoying, but the workaround is if there's something that you forgot to put in the rubric, you can still see it. It'll just show up and you won't be able to edit it. Just add in comments down here in this comment box if you have anything else you need to add that didn't go in the rubric. So it's a little bit frustrating because students are trying to navigate back and forth between, the file and the rubric. And sometimes, this gets saved or closed or something, and you have to either redo it or you can't edit it anymore. So just keep that in mind as you're doing that assignment. It might take you a little bit longer as a result. So this is what you're doing for the module. It'll take a little while, and you have to wait till toward the end of the week in order to complete them. Once you get the response from BrainFuse, you'll download that file, you'll upload it to Canvas. That's all you have to do for that assignment. For the peer edit, don't forget to go back in and actually do your 2 peer edits. That's what you get credit for. So that's this week. You can take a look at your own essay and the feedback for your essay, as soon as you get it. But keep in mind that all next week is when we're turning your rough draft into a final draft. So you do still have more time that you'll be working on that final draft. But the idea is that you've now collected some feedback from different places, yourself, the instructor, and then peer and online writing lab. And so then you can really take that rough draft and turn it into a really good final draft. So if you have questions as we go through this week, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.